Kaia Gerber might seem like she's living a fairy tale life. She's the daughter of supermodel legend Cindy Crawford and businessman Rande Gerber, has walked the runway for fashion's biggest names, and reportedly has a net worth of $5 million. Not bad, right? But behind the glam, Kaia's story is a reminder that even those who seem to have it all are dealing with more than meets the eye. Despite being one of the most sought-after faces in fashion, Kaia's been honest about how social media messes with her self-image. In a chat with Ella UK, she admitted she has a pretty low tolerance for scrolling through the highlight reels people post online. It can make you feel really bad, she said. And honestly, who can't relate to that? The pressure to look perfect online is real, even if you're a literal supermodel.
And I knew myself enough to protect myself.
But Kaia's experience with social media goes way deeper. She's been dealing with online trolls since she was just 14. Yep, 14. The hate got so bad back then that her mom, Cindy, had to step in publicly. Cindy told The Cut that grown adults were leaving comments telling Kaia to just be a kid and criticizing her for modeling. Cindy was quick to call it out for what it was, bullying a child. Years later, Kaia revealed she no longer allows public comments on her Instagram. And who can blame her?
The safety to fail is something that I haven't felt very much in my life.
But the struggles don't stop there. In 2023, Kaia opened up about how the COVID-19 pandemic made her realize she'd been sacrificing her mental health for her career. She told Elle that when everything slowed down, she was forced to sit with herself, and it wasn't easy. There wasn't communication happening between me and myself, she explained. Kaia felt out of touch with her own emotions and admitted that for a long time, work had taken priority over well-being. But now, she's drawing the line. Kaia said she's no longer willing to sacrifice her mental health for the job and has started taking therapy seriously, cutting back on travel and spending more time with her family.
What's the one thing you do when you feel the most like yourself?
Honestly, baking. Baking or going on a walk with my dog or walking on the beach. Very wholesome activities, I think.
Of course, navigating a high-profile relationship under the public eye didn't help either. Kaia and Austin Butler's romance seemed dreamy on the outside, but rumors swirled that things weren't so picture-perfect behind the scenes.
That love between two people and being in love can look different for every person.
Sources claimed that Butler wasn't sure Kaia was serious enough about her career. Austin isn't going to be truly happy until he's with a star on his same heavyweight talent level, a source revealed in May 2024. There was also talk that Cindy and Rande were growing impatient, wondering why Austin hadn't made any long-term plans after 3 years. By September 2024, signs of tension were showing. Kaia spent her 23rd birthday at Disneyland with family and friends, noticeably without Austin. Their breakup was confirmed just a few months later.
You have to wake up every day and choose that happiness for yourself, not for someone else and not based on anyone else.
And while she's never spoken out about it, Kaia's also had to watch someone she loves struggle publicly, her older brother, Presley. The two are incredibly close. He even has her name tattooed on him. And his battles with addiction and mental health haven't gone unnoticed.
Getting thrown into the modeling industry, it's like you sink or swim.
As the eldest child of Cindy Crawford, one of the most iconic supermodels ever, and Rande Gerber, a former model turned tequila mogul, Presley seemed destined for success. Back in 2018, he even recreated his mom's legendary 1992 Pepsi ad, a striking resemblance, by the way.
This is the Pepsi for this model. And his mom.
He hit the runway at just 16, debuting for Moschino, and later landed gigs with brands like Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and Dolce & Gabbana. Most recently, he starred in a Celine campaign. Sounds like a dream career, right? But behind the glossy photo shoots, Presley was struggling.
I remember within the first week of signing, I'm in New York, people are taking pictures of me, shirt off. I'm this is, just my whole life changed within a month.
Let's rewind to 2019. Presley's year got off to a rocky start when he was pulled over for speeding in Beverly Hills. TMZ reported that officers smelled alcohol on him, and Presley ended up failing a sobriety test. He was charged with a DUI. While his lawyer emphasized that Presley was taking the matter seriously, it was the beginning of a very public struggle. He later pleaded no contest, got probation, and completed a DUI program. But this wasn't just about one mistake. It was the first sign that Presley was grappling with some deeper issues. By 2020, Presley's name was popping up everywhere, but not for his modeling work. His DUI, bold tattoo choices, and controversial social media posts had people talking. And that face tattoo, he called it a way to show he felt misunderstood.
If I thought this was gonna ruin my face or I didn't want this, I wouldn't have done it.
As for his family, sources said Cindy and Rande were deeply concerned but remained hopeful it was just a phase. And then there were his cryptic Instagram posts. Like one video from a gun range captioned, "Innocent little me before all the horrid tattoos. Y'all know nothing. Wake the f*** up." Social media antics aside, Presley also suffered a mountain biking accident that left him in the hospital. A source told E! News that Cindy and Rande viewed these actions as a cry for help, and while they stayed close to him, they quietly pushed for more serious mental health treatment.
If anyone had to say to me about this or anything else, or my family, or how I grew up, or anything, I will give you my address, I promise, and you can come say it to my face.
Presley's personal life also added fuel to the headlines. In 2022, he announced what looked like an engagement to model Lexi Wood on Instagram, only for the couple to call it quits just weeks later. Talk about a whirlwind. According to insiders, it became clear they didn't see a future together. Fast forward to 2023, Presley appeared on the Studio 22 podcast and reflected on his past and opened up about his mental health struggles.
Having struggled with, mental health, depression, and some other things that come along with that, I think that, whether I help one person or 100 people get out of that place that I was in at one point in my life, that's all I need to do.
He acknowledged his mistakes and said they were lessons he could pass on.
Hopefully, I've made that mistake for a lot of people that will, they can learn from my mistakes. Hopefully, I've made the mistakes for a lot of people.
Stepping back from modeling, Presley launched an Instagram series called Mental Health Mondays, where he shared tips on coping with life's challenges. His advice was to take a break from social media when it gets overwhelming and lean on friends for support. "I've let a single comment ruin my day," he admitted, adding that learning to block out negativity was key.
Like I been really diving into mental health and just the community around it, because I feel like it should be talked about a lot more than it is.
But 2024 brought an even bigger revelation. Presley opened up about battling opioid addiction, admitting he'd been on and off them for years. Preparing for ibogaine treatment, a therapy aimed at tackling addiction, Presley said, "Getting clean is a scary thing. That's why so many people struggle with it." By sharing his journey, he hoped to hold himself accountable and inspire others to seek help. Presley's journey has been anything but easy. Definitely not the picture-perfect life you'd expect from his famous family. But by sharing his story, he's turned his challenges into a way to connect with others and bring purpose to his platform.